Hi, everybody. This is Captain Kyle. I'm at the Winter Pop and Comic Wonderland. I'm here with Jim Tavaré, who is in Harry Potter and a number of horror films, and he's an awesome stand-up comedian. How are you enjoying the con today, Jim?
Absolutely wonderful gig, having a great time. Met some wonderful people as usual. I really feel at home at these things, and I just could be here. I could just spend a week here, I think, and just really nice people down here. Where are we, by the way?
We're in Waynesboro, PA.
It's always been one of my favorite places, Waynesboro. So I want to come back again.
So you do a lot of conventions?
I tend to be the Harry Potter guy in the United States because there's not many of us. So yeah, I live in LA now. I moved to California, to Hollywood 8 years ago to realize my dreams of being an Uber driver. And I do some acting on the side as well. So I just did a national commercial for TurboTax, which comes out in January. That'd be quite a good one.
Very cool.
Bills. You got to pay the bills.
Very true. And I think we all have this inner desire to be an Uber driver.
Yeah. You recognize me? Yeah.
Now that you mention it, yes, absolutely.
What? Do you recognize me? But no, it's such a good gig here, and I get to do stand-up comedy as well, which is my first love. So last night we did the Doghouse to a load of drunk rednecks, and they had fun, I think, yeah? I don't do anything political, so I don't upset anyone, I don't think.
Yeah, that's a tough area to be.
Fine line to cross, yeah. You got to tread carefully. But being British, you see, I can almost say what I want, and they think, well, this guy is so ignorant, he's stupid, he's out of state, out of the country, so I can get away with quite a bit as well. So, like when you're in character as the governor, it's just, you know what I mean? You got like a prerogative to say anything you want.
Definitely, and I have noticed if I put on my faux British accent, which is not nearly as
Are you gonna
authentic.
do that now?
I'm probably not going to do it too much because you would probably be very critical of my British accent.
With David Morrissey, he even gets the slight Scouser lilt in there. I'm very impressed.
Well, thank you. But I notice if you use this accent, even as an American walking around, if I'm walking in a store and I use this accent.
Very good.
Well, thank you.
Only you and Robert Downey Jr. can do that well.
I'm in good company then.
Oh, yeah.
But people seem to think that, he's not a crazy man, he's civilized, he's British.
Well, I think that the accent is thought of to be sophisticated, but I find that hard. It's very strange, So when I'm in a movie as an English guy, I usually play it a lot more Cockney, do you know what I mean? So it doesn't come over too sort of la-di-da. It's a bit more earthy, and it seems to fit my look as well. So, like the Vinnie Jones and all those guys. But I can do upscale as well, but there aren't many bald-headed upscale guys around, I guess. So there's a few wizards, maybe.
Definitely the wizards. So at these cons, you look around and you see people who are dressed not exactly in what I would call regular street clothing. Definitely, there's people dressed as superheroes, people dressed as Star Wars characters, people dressed as Waldo. What do you think of these cosplayer people?
Well, I think they're wonderful. The ones I recognize, which aren't many, obviously, but I think it's very creative, and it's a fantastic outlet. And you can be really important as a cosplay artist. Is that the correct term?
They're definitely considered artists.
I think that it's a very, very fine creative form, and that's how it all starts. And I don't see why they can't make their own movie and put them all in a thing. Has that happened yet?
Well, they've had a reality TV show. There's been a documentary. There's this cosplay talk show that I've heard about too.
Is that your thing, or?
Yeah.
So, but there's people sitting around me. I'm looking at them all the time, and I'm so impressed. And here we are dressed in drab stuff, and we could make more effort, us people, couldn't we?
Absolutely. Every day I'd like to go as Captain America
to work in McDonald's.
You know that I work at McDonald's.
I guess you work somewhere. No, I think I put you down as a... What do you do? How does he make his living, this guy?
Well, when I'm definitely not making my living on camera right now.
Yeah, and it's not doing impersonations of Scousers.
I work for a law firm, but I'm not a lawyer. I work in the IT department. So.
Okay. Oh, okay. So, yeah, hence all the equipment.
Yep, and knowing how to kind of use it.
Very fine, by the way.
Well, thank you. I appreciate your appreciation of my equipment.
No, you've got I like the production quality of these cons. It's so resourceful, creative, and everyone has high-tech stuff. I mean, it's a great time to be, isn't it? To be out there, and you can do your own projects relatively cheaply now.
It is quite amazing that you can actually, without having a huge budget, you can actually make a high-quality thing that, years ago took a huge budget and a lot of experts, and now you can do it on your home computer with, some store-bought...
or technology, or like the cosplay guys do the dressing up. I like to collect wood off the street, I found, planks, and build stuff out of it. And I've just built a deck for myself out of reclaimed wood I found on the street. And I built the whole deck. And so it's the same kind of thing, It's very therapeutic, to create something that,
Well, one of the questions I always ask is, if you were going to come to a con and cosplay, who would you cosplay? And then I have an idea, but let's first see what you would like to cosplay.
Probably Voldemort. I'm trying to give you what you want to hear.
No, I want to hear what you want to say. You could be Mary Poppins for all,
My favorite character, I wouldn't have a realistic chance, I think, maybe in another life of playing David Bradley's character in the Harry Potter movies, Fitch, and I would like to do that. I think that's a great character to do. I could. In the past, I've always been Frankenstein in Halloween parties, but these days I just go as myself, and usually win the prize with my scary animated skull effect. Here he comes.
Okay, that's all we have. No, I'm kidding. that was very impressive. Though I was thinking, with all this reclaimed wood, if you've seen Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes. No, I haven't. So look at that for a piece of reclaimed wood.
I don't think that's wood.
No?
I think that's bone.
Oh. I thought that was a nice piece of wood. I got the horn for this guy. I just wanted to say it.
But I was thinking, there's a character in Guardians of the Galaxy who's basically a living tree. So you could take this reclaimed wood and make a costume as Groot.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, I'd be more like the stuff I build is like raised garden beds. So is there a character that's like that? I do things very square, nice angles, squared off, nothing too creative.
Okay, I'll have to come up with a character that's very squared off.
The garden guy, yeah.
There's a lot of Minecraft people who are just square.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, my son does that. He's obsessed with it. But.
So are there any projects that you're working on right now?
Projects or products?
Projects, products, whatever you want to talk about.
I'm here doing a movie in South Carolina next Thursday. I go for 9 days. So if anyone has any things for me to do in South Carolina, I'd love to hear, because I've never been there before. I'm working in Florence, shooting a family film with dogs and cats. Never worked with animals. I'm doing it for the 5th movie, working with dogs and cats. I have to be the bad henchman, and like Home Alone kind of henchman. It's muscle memory job time for me. So I'm doing that right now, and I just did a commercial with Amy Schumer as well for the Old Navy, and that's just played out. That was fun to do, a boxing scenario thing, and I talk about commercials. I didn't used to want to be in them, but they really do pay the bills, and so then I can relax and do creative projects,
I think we all have to do certain things to pay the bills, which may not be the ideal, but you still get to act, which is fun, right?
Yeah, kind of acting. It's a different type. It's very high energy, broad. You're just trying to desperately make sure you're in shot all the time, which is kind of not really what you should do as an actor, but sometimes you have to, otherwise you don't get recognized in the advert, and you don't get paid for the commercial. If you're not recognized, you know what I mean? You have to be on camera for 3 seconds as a recognizable face. And so a lot of actors just trying the whole time to make sure they're in shot. It's kind of weird. Whereas, the acting I really like is subtle and just very low-key. That's what every actor likes to do, I think. I think it's fair to say.
Well, except for the fun action scenes.
Yeah, and dying's good fun, of course. This guy over here, have you interviewed him? Tom. He's died something like 16 times. He's got the most elaborate deaths, including being eaten by a dinosaur. So you have to interview him. But I've had a few heads coming off myself, been killed multiple times in various ways, various creative ways. And you have to, as an actor, you have to have a good death yell. You know?
I've been working... Yeah, I've died a couple times myself, and I've been working on my death yells.
It's important, isn't it?
Yeah, you want to sell the death.
The guy that can die well, and you might get booked again. So
yeah, no, not for a long recurring role, obviously.
Well, unless it's wizardry.
It's
that thing, like American Horror Story when they all come back as zombies or whatever.
Yeah, or that Walking Dead, whatever.
Well, they say Walking Dead, if you get killed, it means that the producers have had enough of you, basically. So it's a good sign if you're still hanging in there.
Yeah, I'll have to see. They're so sick of me, they haven't even had me on the show.
I just got booked for Westworld, but it was so terrible. I got booked for the role. It was a day on the show as a cannibal gold miner, and had a nice big scene. And they kept moving the filming date, and I had to say, guys, I can't change my dates anymore. I'm flying to England for another project, and I had to let it go. How awful is that? I'm hoping the door's going to be open if they do another season, though. So, but I get to play an American cowboy cannibal that eats people's legs off and stuff. But another actor I know, he did the role in the end, and I'm sure he did a very good job.
It's a shame when those things happen.
It just can't be helped.
So where can people find you on social media to follow your projects?
So I'm on jimtavaré.org, or I'm on Twitter, Jim Tavaré, Facebook, official Jim Tavaré. I'm out there, I'm there.
Well, we'll put the links in the description and all that, so people can follow you and see how you die.
Yeah. I want to do a reel of deaths, I think all actors should have a death reel. You've done a couple, so you could have put a reel together for that.
Yeah, but I only like 3. Dying by alien mosquito.
That's good. I've had my head come off, which is probably the best one. Lots of guts coming out. It's pretty standard, What else? There's so many deaths. It's fun, isn't it? Yeah. It's important not to have an ego. I think it's surprisingly good actors, I think, really don't have egos. You just can't. It's a real jobbing thing to do.
I've definitely met a lot of actors, and ego is not usually a problem with most of them.
No, exactly. You do find it, but those people are not actors, I don't think. They want to be famous. There's a difference. It's a hard stamina kind of job doing this. But hopefully we have a nice skill set. We can bring something that's interesting, creative, like the cosplay people. We bring our visions. That's why I like movies better than TV, because it's slower and they let you do more of your own characterization, whereas TV episodic is very strict and you have to hit the beats. They want exactly that, their character. But movies, you can kind of say, what about if we do it this way? There's a lot more of that going on with the movie. This guy, he wasn't going to have a hump like the young Frankenstein. He wasn't going to be Igor, so it's amazing what you can get away with. He's a terrible actor.
So anything you want to say to your supporters? Yes, I am a terrible actor.
My supporters, what I've got to say to them?
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for making our lives this is all about you. This is the fans' day today, and I hope we can service you, and it's great to work with you guys.
Awesome. Now I have 3 quick questions, very, very serious, very, very probing questions. What is your favorite dessert?
Okay, so it's one where it's called brulee, where they kind of put the sugar on top and then they get a blowtorch and kind of heat the stuff up. And so you crack it with a spoon. Now, what is that called? Brulee is what they call it in Europe, but I think it might have a different name. And underneath the hard sugar is like cream and like raspberries and fruit and stuff. That's my favorite thing. We also have a dessert called pavlova, which is like meringue with cream. It's great with strawberries and maybe some passion fruit dripped on the top with a raspberry coulis. How about that?
That sounds good to me. All right, second question. If you could have any... have any superpower. If someone said, I'm going to give you a superpower, what superpower would you choose?
Have we had, like, turning paper into money? No.
I think that's called the counterfeiting power.
Oh, okay, yes, okay. Maybe that's my real job. Okay, so what is the superpower? I think I really would like to be able to go back. Honestly, I'd like to go back in time. I'd like to be a history superhero. So I can go back any day in history and just sit there for a day, but only a day, because otherwise I get eaten by colonials or something. I'd love to go back in time, and then I can use that to save the world in a sort of backwards, in a retrospective sense.
Well, we'll see if we can get you a nice blue box that has control so you can travel through time.
Of course, there's the time drop. Yeah, you know, I knew that had been done before.
Somebody did that.
Okay.
It's a minor thing.
To me, it's good. And being invisible is probably number 2. Being invisible is just awesome, isn't it? Which I have a lot of the time because I haven't got a huge personality, so sometimes you feel a bit invisible, don't you? But invisible's good.
I think I have that power, but selectively with casting directors.
Oh, right, yeah, well, there you go, see, so, yeah, that's a great quality, invisible. What about number 3? What about for you? What would your number 1 be?
I think I would like to have, like, healing factor like Wolverine, which basically means I would live a lot longer, and I would not...
Is that because you get, like, roughed up all the... Why don't you just look after yourself, then you won't need to be healed, you know? Stop getting beaten up.
Well, I'm a cosplayer in a non-cosplay world.
Okay. So, yeah, Wolverine, that's cool, that's cool. Who was the very first superhero ever in the consciousness?
I would have to say it might be more of a sci-fi thing, but I think it was like Flash Gordon, perhaps.
Okay. What was his power then?
Well, he was not so much powers as he used like ray guns and stuff like that.
Yeah, but was he a superhero?
He could be considered one. Maybe Superman. Maybe Superman back in the
50s.
I think he was even... Superman's been around for a very long time.
He was the number 1 guy. He's the godfather of superheroes. He's the one we should all look to.
Yep, but not in the new movies.
And now it's magic and it's... What is it? It's everything's covered now. Are there any new superpowers out there left to come?
Well, people try to come up with different things all the time in different ways, but... All right, last question. If there was an actor, living or dead, but obviously we would bring them back to life for this, that you could work with, who would you want to work with?
I love the old school guys. I love, the old cowboys from America, like the guys in the Magnificent Seven and James Caan and those big proper actors, the ones that all went deaf because they were shooting so many guns in the desert. And I like Pacino and, those like proper actors. Today a lot of the kids, they're great, but they don't have the huge charisma of the guys back then. I love Laurence Olivier. I just love that guy, and because he was so camp in like Richard III. But he was a theatrical actor, and they are the best because they bring something else to it more. I can't explain it, but they can tone it right down as well. I like the living actors. There's so many. Obviously, Seymour Hoffman is just hugely skilled, and brings something just leagues above us, the rest of us.
Unfortunately, he passed. So
no, but you said bring someone to life, so yeah. He's someone I'd like to learn from, and Anthony Hopkins. I regard him as a superhero. It's just great to be alive doing this. It's a great honour, to still be doing this after however many years it is. And always learning. from the old school guys.
Always something
I like old acting tips, stuff when they used to say, using your leading eye when you're speaking to someone, all those technical things that the old school people talk a lot about, and like Henry Fonda, and those guys, Grapes of Wrath. That's one of my favorite films, and my other favorite film is Citizen Kane. I could spend my life just giving up this and just watching old movies.
Wouldn't pay much, but yeah.
There's no money in it, no. There's no money in it at all.
Unfortunately.
We've got to keep working, haven't we? We've got to keep doing it and, keep reinventing ourselves as actors and finding something new to bring to the table. New characterization stuff. There's always something deep within that you can emote.
Absolutely. Well, Jim, that's about all the time we have. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks to the fans for making this such fun. I love being in a different place at a convention. It's like being at home.
Absolutely. Thanks, everyone, for watching, and we'll see you next time. As always, have fun and cosplay on.